today I go jump over healing, bata bata. Praise the Lord.
Praise Master Jesus. Let's close our eyes as we worship the name of the Lord. Begin to exalt his name. He is worthy of our praise. There is none like him. Adore him. Worship him, worship him. Worship him. You are great, yes, you are. Oh, you are. You walked upon the sea. You raised the dead. You reign in majesty. Mighty God. Everything written about you is great. You are great, yes, you are. Oh, you are.
You walked upon the sea, you raised the dead. You reign in majesty, mighty God. Everything written about you is great.
You are great.
You are great. You are great. You are great. You are great. You are great. You are great. Everything written about you is great.
You are great.
You are great. You are great.
You are great.
You are great. You are great. You are great. You are great. Everything written about you is great.
He must tremble at your presence. Oh, God, we say.
Almighty God is
Glory, hallelujah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Oh, everything.
Everything written about you is great. You are great. You are great. You are great. Oh, you are great. You are great. Oh, you are great. Lord, you are great. You are great. You are great. Everything written about you is great. I never see anyone like you. 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 I never see anyone like you.
My papa enough to be like you. I never know I have searched for. I've never seen anyone like you.
I never see anyone like you. I never see anyone like you. I never see anyone like you. I never see anyone like you.
I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life.
I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life. I need a miracle in my life.
Open your mouth at this minute. Say, Lord, I thank you. I thank you for all that you have done for me. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for your divine protection. Thank you for your loving kindness. Thank you for your grace that is working in my life. Thank you for counting me among the living. Thank you, Father, for making me to see this great day. Lord, I give you all the glory. I give you all the honor. Open your mouth. Begin to reverence the name of the Lord. Open your mouth. Begin to worship his name. Open your mouth and say, Lord, I thank you. You deserve the glory. You deserve the glory. Open your mouth and say, Lord, I worship you. Say, Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. I want you to open your mouth and say, Lord, thank you. Say, Lord, I thank you. The God that created us all. The God that gives us the breath of life. The God that counts among the living. Many are dead and gone. Here we are. It is not by our power, neither by our righteousness. Lord, I worship you. Lord, I worship you. Lord, I worship you. That road that you pass and God kept you, that same road, many people pass through that road and today they are no more. Lord, I worship your holy name. Lord, I worship your holy name. Lord, I worship your holy name. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, is all I am asking from you. Give me the strength, show me the way, one day at a time. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. Tomorrow may never be mine. Help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Give me the strength, show me the way, one day at a time. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. Tomorrow may never be mine. Help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. You are still going to open your mouth and say, Lord, show me the way. Many of us we have seen today, you don't know what tomorrow will talk about you. You are going to say, Lord, I divine protection. I ask for your mercy upon my life. I ask for your mercy upon my life. I have sinned against you in one way or the other. Even if it's wrong, yet I go ahead and commit it. Say, Lord, have mercy on me. Lord, have mercy on me. Lord, have mercy on me. Lord, show me the way that I need to follow. Lord, show me the right way that I need to follow. Today is gone, and yesterday he could not buy. Say, Lord, I ask for your mercy. 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 Have mercy on me, Lord God Almighty. I am not qualified to stand before your presence. Neither I am too holy to call upon your name. Father, I ask for your mercy. Daddy, I ask for your mercy. Daddy, I ask for your mercy. Daddy, I ask for your mercy. Lord, show me the way that I need to follow. Show me the right thing that I need to do. Papa, help me so that on that day you will not say, get behind me. I don't know you not. Father, have mercy. Daddy, have mercy. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. We are going to take just one prayer point. You are going to say, my Father, my Maker, my reason of me being here this evening. Say, Lord, don't allow it to be in vain. I don't want to come here and go home empty-handed. I want to be here and go home loaded with the word of God and the gift of the Holy Spirit. Open your mouth, begin to pray. I will not tell you what to pray. You know the reason why you are here. Say, Lord, I don't want to go home the way I came. I don't want to go home empty. I want to fill with your word. I want to fill me. Lord, I want to know your word more. I want to understand your word. In the name of Jesus. Open your mouth, begin to pray. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for the service of this evening. King of glory, you are the founder of this ministry and you are the owner of the service of today. Baba, throw your weight around and prove yourself that you are God. Every word that will come out from the mouth of your servant, let it be the word that will transform our life for good. And let it be the word that will change our life for good in the name of Jesus. As many that came here today, Baba, they will be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Lord, we will not go home the way we came. We will go home blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. For in Jesus' mighty name.